Your trolley probably already has some of these in it. In this video, we're counting down 15 everyday UK supermarket foods that punch far above their price tag. Foods backed by real science, not marketing. Stay until the end, because number one is something most people throw straight in the bin. It might be the most nutrient-dense food you can buy. At number 15, kidney beans. Kidney beans are quiet workers. Their fiber turns into compounds your gut uses to keep blood sugar steady for hours. Translation: fewer energy crashes, fewer cravings clawing at you by 3 p.m. Think of it as a slow drip of fuel instead of a sugar spike and a crash. They're also a solid source of plant protein and iron, which means a genuinely filling meal for pennies. There's a quieter win too. The potassium in beans takes some of the daily pressure off your heart, the kind of benefit you never notice, but your body registers every single day. Here's the catch. Undercooked dried kidney beans contain a natural toxin called phytohemagglutinin, and a gentle slow cooker setting isn't hot enough to reliably destroy it. Don't take that shortcut. Boil dried beans vigorously for at least 10 minutes before reducing them to a simmer, or simply buy a tin packed in water, give them a quick rinse, and they're ready to eat. Either way, you get the same slow-digesting carbohydrates, fiber, and steady energy benefits without the unnecessary risk. Simple beans, serious blood sugar control. But if beans work quietly in your gut, this route works instantly on your stomach. At number 14, ginger. Ginger's compound, gingerol, is one of the most tested natural remedies there is, especially for nausea. Just a gram or two of fresh ginger a day has been shown to calm it, whether that's motion sickness, morning sickness, or something more serious. It also speeds up digestion, so heavy meals sit easier instead of sitting like a brick. There's a second, less talked about benefit too. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has anti-inflammatory properties that may help reduce joint discomfort and stiffness over time. It's not an overnight fix, but regular use has been linked to improved comfort in people with achy joints, making it one of the few kitchen spices with well-studied anti-inflammatory effects. Skip the crystallized ginger in the sweet aisle, that's basically sugar wearing a ginger costume, all the calories with almost none of the benefit. Fresh root, grated into hot water or a stir-fry, is where the actual benefit lives. A thumb-sized piece a day is genuinely all it takes. Ginger settles your stomach. Up next, a vegetable that rebuilds your gut from scratch. At number 13, kimchi. Kimchi is fermented cabbage, and fermentation is the magic word here. As it ferments, beneficial bacteria multiply naturally, turning it into a genuine probiotic food that helps support a healthier gut microbiome. A balanced gut has been linked to steadier digestion, stronger immunity, and even better mood. Fermentation also produces vitamin K2, a nutrient that helps direct calcium toward your bones, where it's needed, instead of allowing it to build up in your arteries. Picture it as a traffic controller sending calcium exactly where you want it. And you don't need much, a few forkfuls alongside a meal does the job. This isn't a food that needs to be eaten in bulk. The trap is pasteurized kimchi. Heating it for shelf life kills the very bacteria you're paying for, so you end up with the taste and none of the benefit. Look for it in the chilled aisle, labeled live or unpasteurized, and eat it cold straight from the jar. Kimchi feeds your gut bacteria. Next, a dairy staple that feeds your muscles while you sleep. At number 12, cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is slow-release protein in a tub. Its casein protein digests gradually, supplying your muscles with a steady stream of amino acids for hours instead of all at once. That's exactly why it's a popular choice before bed, giving your body the building blocks it needs to support muscle repair while you sleep. One pot delivers roughly 24 grams of high-quality protein for under 200 calories, making it one of the most efficient high-protein foods on the supermarket shelf. Hard to beat that ratio anywhere else in the dairy aisle. It's just as useful straight after a workout as it is before bed, a rare food that fits two very different moments in your day. Just steer clear of the flavoured pots. Pineapple and protein boost versions often smuggle in as much sugar as a dessert, quietly undoing the whole point. Plain, full fat or reduced is the version worth buying. Add your own fruit or a crack of black pepper. Cottage cheese builds muscle while you sleep. This seed builds something your body can't run without: magnesium. At number 11, pumpkin seeds. That restless, can't switch off feeling at midnight, tossing and turning for no clear reason. A single handful of pumpkin seeds delivers close to half your daily magnesium, the mineral your muscles and nerves need to actually let go. If you've been waking up with cramp in your calf or feeling wound up for no obvious reason, a magnesium gap is quietly the usual suspect. They also carry zinc for your immune system and iron for your blood, especially handy if red meat isn't a big part of your plate. 3 minerals, 3 different jobs, all from one small handful. Here's where most shoppers undo the benefit without realizing it. The salted, flavored multi-packs are roasted in cheap oil that cancels it out before you've even had one seed. Go raw or dry roasted, unsalted, and sprinkle them over anything. Porridge, salad, yogurt. Pumpkin seeds top up the one mineral most people never think to check. Up next, a nut fixing a shortage almost the entire country shares without knowing it. At number 10, Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are the richest natural source of selenium on the planet, and Britain's soil is famously low in this essential mineral, meaning many people don't get enough without realizing it. Selenium helps your thyroid produce and regulate hormones that control metabolism, while also powering one of your body's strongest antioxidant systems, helping protect cells from everyday damage before it builds up. Just 1 or 2 nuts a day covers your entire daily need. Not a handful, 2 nuts. Which means more isn't better here. Eat a big handful daily and you tip into selenium overload instead of a benefit. Keep it to 1 or 2, fresh and unsalted, treat it like a daily vitamin rather than a snack, and buy small bags rather than a big tub. Their high fat content means they turn rancid faster than you'd expect. Brazil nuts patch a mineral gap most people don't know they have. At number 9, garlic. Crush a clove and something almost invisible happens. Alice informs, a compound tied to lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, and lower heart disease rates in entire populations who eat it daily. It's quietly working on the exact thing that kills more people than anything else, and you never feel it happening. It also steps in right when your immune system is under attack, at the very first tickle of a cold. Here's the part that stings a little. If you've been reaching for jarred, pre-minced garlic to save time, you've been skipping the whole point. Most of its power is gone before it even hits the shelf. Crush your own cloves and let them sit 10 minutes before cooking. That pause is the only window where the compound actually forms. Skip it, and you're just cooking with flavor, not protection. One more thing that trips people up. Throw it in too early and boiling burns off the benefit right along with the smell. Garlic protects your arteries slowly and silently, 1 crushed clove at a time. Next, a drink that protects your gut with 60 strains of bacteria at once. At number 8, kefir. Kefir sends an entire team of beneficial bacteria into your gut instead of yogurt's small squad. That extra diversity is linked to steadier digestion, stronger immunity, and even better metabolic health. It's also a genuine source of high-quality protein, more filling than people expect from something that looks so ordinary. Even people who normally struggle with dairy often find kefir sits fine. The fermentation has already done some of the digesting for them. Skip the flavored bottles. Strawberry and vanilla versions often carry as much sugar as a can of soda, cancelling out most of the point. Plain kefir from the chilled aisle is the version worth drinking. Add your own real fruit if you need flavour. Kefir builds a more diverse gut than yogurt ever could. Which food do you think is number 1? Chances are you're completely wrong. At number 7, grass-fed beef. That constant low-grade tiredness coffee never quite fixes. It's often the iron gap talking. Grass-fed beef carries more heme iron, the type your body actually absorbs, plus more than a full day's B12 in one serving, exactly the nutrients your energy and your nerves run on. Compared with grain-fed beef, it also carries a healthier fat balance, more omega-3s, more CLA, a better ratio your heart quietly thanks you for, decade after decade. Yes, it costs more per pound, but a smaller serving of the real thing beats a bigger plate of the cheap stuff, so the value evens out anyway. Now here's the part that'll annoy you. The label grass-fed on its own can mean almost nothing. Plenty of cattle graze for months and then get finished on grain right before slaughter, and the packet doesn't have to tell you that. Look specifically for 100% grass-fed or grass-fed and finished. Anything less is marketing wearing a green sticker. Keep the cooking simple: salt, pepper, a hot pan. 1 plate, absorbable iron, B12 and protein, no fancy recipe, no guesswork. If this helped you make better decisions, subscribe and stay tuned. At number 6, sardines. Sardines pack a serious amount of nutrition into a tiny tin. Unlike tuna, swordfish, or king mackerel, they sit low on the food chain and live short lives, which means far less mercury. One of the safest fish you can eat every week, no caveats needed. Then there are the bones. They look intimidating, but once canned, they're soft enough to eat without noticing. And they're loaded with highly absorbable calcium. A single tin can cover a serious chunk of your daily needs. A fish tin quietly doing the job of a milk carton. Sardines are also among the richest vitamin D sources on UK shelves, exactly when you need it most, the dark autumn and winter months when sunlight can't do the job for you. Add high-quality protein, B12, selenium, iodine and omega-3s, and you've got one of the most nutrient-dense tins in the whole supermarket. Whatever you do, don't pick out the little white bones. Those soft pieces are the whole point. Sardines hide calcium in plain sight, along with a nutrient list few everyday foods can match. At number 5, eggs. Egg yolks are one of the richest natural sources of choline, an essential nutrient that many people don't get enough of. Your body uses choline to produce acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter involved in memory, learning, attention, and muscle control. It's also a key building block for healthy cell membranes throughout the body. In simple terms, choline provides some of the raw material your brain needs to function efficiently, making eggs one of the easiest ways to support cognitive health through everyday meals. At the same time, egg yolks deliver two powerful antioxidants, lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds accumulate in the retina, where they help filter high-energy blue light and reduce oxidative stress that gradually damages eye tissue over time. Research has linked higher intakes of these carotenoids with better long-term eye health and a lower risk of age-related macular degeneration and cataracts. It's a completely different benefit from choline, yet it comes from the very same food. One breakfast helps support both your brain and your eyesight through two separate biological pathways. Eggs also provide high-quality protein, vitamin B12, selenium, iodine, vitamin A, and healthy fats, making them one of the most nutrient-dense foods available for the price. The exact difference depends on the hen's diet and living conditions, but choosing free-range or organic eggs is generally a worthwhile upgrade if your budget allows. It's a small increase in cost for a meaningful improvement in nutritional quality. Eggs protect your brain and your eyes in two completely different ways, making them one of the smartest foods you can put on your breakfast plate. We've reached the top 5. From this point on, every food on this list delivers nutrients that are incredibly difficult to get anywhere else. And number 1 is arguably the most nutrient-dense food you can buy. At number 4, extra virgin olive oil. Real extra virgin olive oil is loaded with polyphenols, plant compounds tied to one of the most solid findings in all of nutrition science: better cholesterol, better heart health, decade after decade. The problem is that real is doing a lot of work in that sentence. A significant share of oil labelled extra virgin on UK shelves is quietly cut with cheaper oils, so you could be paying premium prices for a diluted product. Look for a harvest date within the last year and a dark glass bottle, and save it for drizzling, not deep frying, since heat destroys the very compounds you're paying for in the first place. One quick test: a genuinely fresh bottle should taste slightly peppery at the back of your throat. That faint bite is the polyphenols announcing themselves. Good olive oil protects your heart quietly if you buy the real thing. At number 3, oysters. Oysters carry more zinc than almost any other commonly eaten food on Earth. Just a handful can provide several times your daily requirement, making them one of the richest natural sources of a mineral your body depends on, but cannot store for long. That means zinc has to be replenished regularly through your diet. It's essential for immune function, wound healing, DNA production, healthy skin, and the production of hormones, including testosterone. In other words, it's one of those nutrients you either keep topping up or gradually begin to run short on. But zinc is only part of the story. Oysters also provide an unusual combination of copper and vitamin B12 alongside their zinc content. The only real caution isn't exaggerated. Raw oysters can occasionally carry harmful pathogens, including norovirus and certain bacteria, particularly if they're harvested from contaminated waters or handled improperly. That's why it's worth buying them from a reputable fishmonger or trusted supplier with clear sourcing and proper food safety standards. If you're ever unsure, simply cook them. Steaming, grilling, or baking oysters preserves almost all of their valuable minerals while removing much of the risk associated with eating them raw. Oysters deliver more zinc than anything else on this list, along with a rare combination of nutrients that very few other foods can rival. At number 2, wild salmon. Wild salmon is one of the richest natural sources of the long-chain omega-3s EPA and DHA. The exact form your brain, your eyes, and your heart use immediately. No conversion needed. These fats build straight into your cell membranes, quietly keeping inflammation in check and your mind sharp. The kind of maintenance you never notice until it's missing. Most people don't eat oily fish nearly often enough, so this might be the single easiest upgrade on the whole list. It also carries astaxanthin, the antioxidant behind that deep, almost unnatural pink colour. Astaxanthin fights oxidative stress and has been linked to better skin elasticity, faster muscle recovery, and healthier eyes, working from the inside in a way no cream on the surface ever could. Here's the part that stings a bit. Most salmon on UK shelves isn't wild at all, it's farmed. Farmed fish still gives you protein and some omega-3s, but the fatty acid profile is a different, weaker story because these fish never touch the krill and shrimp a wild salmon actually eats. And that beautiful pink colour you're trusting, often just added straight into the feed. Look specifically for wild caught or wild Alaskan. That one phrase is the difference between real omega-3s and a decent-looking imposter. Wild salmon delivers a combination of fats, antioxidants, and density that farmed salmon simply can't fake. At number 1, beef liver. Beef liver is the food nutritionists quietly agree is the most nutrient-dense thing you can buy. Gram for gram, nothing else on the shelf comes close. One modest serving delivers several days' worth of vitamin A, more than a full day's B12, and exceptional amounts of absorbable iron, copper, riboflavin, and folate. Essentially a multivitamin packaged into one of the cheapest cuts of meat available, in a form your body absorbs far more easily than any supplement. That density is exactly why it deserves respect. Vitamin A is fat-soluble, so your body stores it rather than flushing it out. Eat liver too often and you can push your intake too high. For most healthy adults, about 100 grams once a week is the sweet spot. Grass-fed liver, when you can find it, edges out slightly on fat quality. And if the strong flavour puts you off, freeze-dried liver capsules or a good pate make an easier way in. The most nutrient-dense food on any UK supermarket shelf is sitting in plain sight, and almost nobody is putting it in their basket. There you have it. 15 everyday foods, each doing something specific most people never notice. If this changed how you shop, like this video and tell me which one you're adding to your basket this week.